So, very bad day for it, but I decided the first blacksmithing project I'm going to do is a sword. And the cheapest material I could get was some rebar, cheapest steel. We bought 10 foot of rebar for $5 or $10. I can't remember. It's really cheap for some not low quality steel. It's not high quality, but it's not the lowest either. It's not some random, piece of car. So yeah, I'm going to make a rapier out of it. It's a relatively thin sword, and so it doesn't take a lot of material width-wise. It's a relatively simple sword, so I figured it's an okay first one. And I researched all the dimensions for a rapier. There's no specific width, like from edge to edge. I'm guessing because there's multiple types. I don't know, but as far as I can tell, the basic length of it is twice the length of your arm, so that way it's a personal sword, so I'm going to be making it for me. I stand about 6 foot, so it's going to be about a 5 foot sword, I think, towards the end. I'm going to wait for clearer weather and then get started with the sword. Thanks for watching. That is one chopped bar, and that will be the sword. So apparently, I chose a week of raining and storming to get my first sword started. What? I did it last night so I could show off the glowing and whatnot, but I'm just gonna do it now for as long as I can until the rain starts, or at least until I hear something. Because I don't want to wait a whole week to get this done. It shouldn't take a week to make this sword. We'll see. And this is my newer setup for the makeshift forge, which is really okay for any forge. In this case, one of my jets goes this way, and that's all I had last night. And then now I'm going to try to get one of my jets through here. And then the sword comes in just like that. And I covered up this backside, just keeping more heat. But really any sort of, you can do it on dirt, you can do it on whatever, just any sort of rock or brick
outer layer is pretty good for a forge, as long as you have a powerful enough jet of fire. Now, whatever you say about this, sketchy, MacGyvery, it doesn't really matter. I call it what it is it works. So. Sorry for the audio. Right now, I'm just trying to flatten it out to the size of the blade, just the blade flattened. I'm trying to look at this mark here. When I get that high, and I know the blade is, that's where the blade ends. So now it's about an hour later, because I had to let it cool, because I couldn't touch the side of it anymore safely with an open hand without it being too hot. So I let it cool off for about an hour, maybe an hour, about less than an hour I think, until it was cold. And then heat it back up so I can do that half of it against my measuring bit over there. All right. I was doing some straightening of the blade, and I'm not recording it because it's just so boring, but that is obviously not straight whatsoever. It was, and then I was air cooling it, and I must have done it too quickly or with no pressure on either side. So now I'm going to try heating it back up in the middle and putting some bricks on it, maybe some pressure to keep it at least a little straight, because that's hilariously bent all on its own.